Welcome to another episode of Tech Straight. I'm excited to tell you we are unboxing the Samsung Gear S. Now this is the US release from Verizon. I just got this in today, so this is definitely going to be cool. This is their newest smartwatch. It actually has a SIM card in it, so it's going to be pretty neat. You can actually set this device up to receive calls, make calls, send and receive text messages, all without actually being Bluetooth tethered to your phone. So you can leave your phone at home, go out for a bite to eat or a quick run, whatever you need to do, and just take your watch and still stay connected to your friends and family. So it's pretty cool. So this is straight from Verizon, shipped via FedEx, and here's all the normal stuff. Alright, so let's get to the good part here. The Samsung Gear S. Alright, so there we have the seal. Nice new box. Samsung Gear S. So let's go ahead and open this box up. Alright. One of the things I was concerned about this watch is that it might just be too darn big. But at first glance, I don't think it's going to be, at least not for me. And so it looks pretty cool so far. Let's take a look at what else is in the box real quick. And as always, save the best for last. We'll take a look at the watch in more detail here in a moment. So there we have the charger, micro USB. See if we can take a good look. At the specs. There we go. And also the booklets, quick reference manual. Might actually take a look at that. Usually don't have to look too much at the manuals that come with the devices because in my opinion they don't really seem to help a whole lot most of the time. Might come in handy with the watch. So here is the connector for the charger. This is going to go right on the back of the watch. There are the little connectors to actually connect to the back of the watch, and the micro USB port there. So here we have the watch. Let's go ahead and take the plastic off of everything. I was also concerned that the band might be too big. I know they have a few different bands that might be available, but this one seems to be pretty cool. Let's take a look at it on the wrist real quick, because that's a big deal. Actually, it's quite comfortable. I think the curved display really makes a big difference. Really hugs the wrist nice. I don't feel like I'm holding on to a phone attached to my wrist. You know, it really doesn't feel much different than, as far as, you know, weight and you know, being comfortable. It doesn't really feel much different than any of my other smartwatches like the Gear 2 or the Moto 360. In some ways it feels more comfortable just because it feels more contoured to my wrist. So I'm actually pretty impressed with that. Looks like they made it, you know, the same. They gave it the same type of adjustment as the Gear 2 that I'm used to, so that's pretty cool. Actually slides a little bit easier than the Gear 2, so that's cool. So you can see that the adjustment, you know, you can actually open it all the way up. You know, you can bring it all the way down for those of you that are a little smaller with a smaller wrist. So that gives you quite a big adjustment there. So looking pretty good so far. So there is the back of the watch. You can see you know, where you hook everything up at. And the charging port and everything. So there's that. It's ready to charge, as you can see. So it looks like this might be a little different than some of the unboxings that I have seen with the models that were sold internationally, because those I noticed had a little SIM card slot that would open up, or a little port or door, I guess you could say, that opened up separately, and I don't see that. So let's take a look at the manual and see what we get, because they really didn't have a whole lot of information. When I called Verizon, they were pretty in the dark about anything to do with this watch. So there's just some basics. It doesn't really say anything about a SIM in there so far. So let's just power it on and see what it does. Because it is definitely still 3G capable, even this US release. It even says it right on the back. 3G CDMA. Samsung Gear S welcome. Install Samsung Gear on your mobile device. So we've already got that done. So what we'll do for now is I'm actually planning on pairing this with my Note 4, but since I'm actually filming with the Note 4, it'll be just a whole lot easier to just pair it with one of my backup devices. I've got an S5 sitting here that we can use. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so there you can see it is recognizing the Gear S. And you can see that it is doing the pairing. And of course it wants to download additional software. Alright, so now we are connecting to the Gear. We've got our software downloaded completely and updated. Click I agree. Special call needs to be made to activate your Gear phone number. Let's do activate.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless Programming. Para español oprime la estrella. To program or activate your phone, press 1. Update your roaming capabilities, 2. Starting with the area code, please enter the number you're calling about.
Alright, so we're going to pause and come back.
Starting with the area.
Okay, so pause the video and did quite a few things, and now we're coming back. So what we did was go ahead and get this watch activated. There was a few things that had to be done. Called Verizon and got them to make sure that this watch was activated in a way that we could use it independently, because they actually sent it to me as an accessory without actually setting up a line for it. So now this watch actually has multiple capabilities. It actually has its own number, so I can actually use it independently of the phone. I can call it, or I can actually tether it with the phone Bluetooth or remotely, as long as the phone and the watch are connected remotely. I can just pick up calls from my phone as well. So it's kind of interesting the way that works. but I don't want to get too detailed and make this video too long. But the neat thing about it is I can get calls for my mobile number or for the number on my watch. So it's kind of cool. Also, this watch actually, I prefer some of the other watch faces than the one that comes on there when you first boot it up. This one is not really the one that I prefer. I like it to be a little bit more like, you know, a device, just because I want, you know, quick accessibility, which is why I actually use a smartwatch. So this one is pretty cool. I like it because you can change your shortcuts and all that kind of stuff. The exercise stuff is pretty cool. Since I paused the video, I actually went and took it on a test run, literally. So I took it for a run. Let's take a look. You actually have GPS for your run, which is pretty awesome because you do not have that on the Gear 2. So that is really cool. And you can actually monitor your heart rate, all kinds of other stuff, and it's really neat. So you can look at, okay, like here is the log of my run earlier. One thing that I thought was something that would have been cool, that I was able to do with the Moto 360. I paired the Moto 360 with my phone and installed an app called the Runtastic Pro, and it actually keeps track of elevation, because the track that I run on is you know, it has a lot of elevation to it, so a lot of inclines. It's in the hills, so you know, that definitely increases the run time and stuff like that. So it was neat that app, in conjunction with the Moto 360, would tell me, you know, about my inclines and everything like that. So that was kind of neat. But to me, it sucks to have a phone strapped to your arm to be able to use your watch to keep track of your run. So that kind of took away from that for me on the 360. But with this, you can use this totally independently. I went for a run, you know, had full GPS, had access to my 3G data, the whole works, had my music already on the watch, transferred it through Bluetooth, you know, from my phone to the watch, so it actually transferred to, you know, the drive on the watch. It has 4 gigs of memory that you can store stuff, music and pictures and so forth. So right there's my run. It kept track of everything. I just took it for a quick, easy run. So there's, you know, it kept track of my time, 15 minutes, 23 seconds, 1.52 miles. I burned 235 calories. Average speed was 6 miles an hour. Max speed was 8.2 miles an hour. Average heart rate, 153, which is about right in the range of what you want to be burning some calories. Looks like my max went up to about 176. So that was probably on those serious inclines that I was running uphill for, you know, some of those inclines, you know, go up about 100 feet. So it's pretty cool. Pretty tough run. Good training for those 5Ks and stuff. So anyway, you know, I'm not a professional runner. I just try to run a little bit here and there to, you know, keep a little bit in shape anyway. So right there is all the stats. So, and it also keeps it gives you a map of your run. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it's definitely got more to it than the Gear 2 for sure. So that's just giving you a little taste of the exercise stuff. There's walking, cycling, hiking, you know, just like the Gear 2. You got your heart rate monitor, sleep, UV, pedometer, you know, all those normal things. So those are some apps and things that you can, you know, check out if you're into fitness. Now I have mine paired up with this Galaxy Note 4. You can see I've been in the Samsung Gear Apps section checking out some stuff, seeing what what we can put in there. Now you do need an app called the Gear Manager by Samsung. So you'll need to pair your device with a Samsung device. Now, with the Gear 2, I did find that even though Samsung says it has to be a Samsung mobile device to pair with the watch, when I used the Gear 2, I was able to get the Gear Manager off the internet and download it to things like the Moto X and the Moto Turbo and stuff like that. So as long as you can find, you know, the application Gear Manager and download it, then you can pretty much put it on any Android usually. I can't say that for sure about the Gear S because I haven't tried it, but I'm betting you can. So there is your Gear Manager. You can also pull up S Health, and it keeps track of everything. We're going to do that later. It keeps track of everything from the watch. The nice thing about this watch in comparison to the Gear 2 is that you don't necessarily have to be Bluetooth tethered for certain things. You can be remotely connected to your phone for certain functions, even if your phone is nowhere near the watch. So you can be remotely connected through the network. So that's pretty cool. You know, you can check out Samsung apps by clicking on Samsung Gear apps there and pull up. They got some nice additions now. One that I was kind of surprised to see was an actual browser for this watch. Because this watch has full Wi-Fi and 3G, you can see I've got 3G signal there. So you can actually put a browser on this watch, and I've already done that. So I'm going to check that out and let you see it. So it's Opera Mini, and so yeah, Opera Mini. When you load it up, you get this page right here, and you can put some stuff on your speed dial page, and that's pretty cool. So you can like set it to your Facebook. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, you can pull up, you know, pretty much whatever, and the watch actually has a real keyboard, so that's pretty cool. You can, you know, just type in stuff. See what it just puts in. TVs. Let's just look up whatever I just happened to type there, just to show it'll load a page. And so there you go, it actually loads web pages. So that's pretty cool. So that's Opera Mini, and definitely impressed to see an actual browser on there. I was kind of surprised. You got email. Now this email application actually works in conjunction with the phone. So it'll work through Bluetooth tether or remote tether. So that's cool. But you do need to set that up. That's going to be the stock email application on your phone. It doesn't really work with, like, you know, Outlook.com or anything like that, or Gmail or whatever. You have to actually set those accounts up in the stock email app on your phone. You know, so you would, like, for instance, on your device, you're going to just go to your app drawer, and you're going to find your stock email app right there. So that's what you're looking for. So you just basically just put in your email and password, and the stock email app usually will find all the server information automatically. So that's cool too. So you got that. You got your schedule. That will read off your calendar information. Same deal, stock calendar. You also got Navigator. That is called Here, and that's very similar. It looked very similar to what I saw on the Windows device I tried out for a little while by Nokia. So you also got the Nike running app. I haven't tried that one out yet. When I went for my little 1.5 mile run earlier, I did the regular Samsung S Health type setup. You also got the weather. So you got all that kind of stuff, and alarm, S-Voice, all that kind of thing. Like, you can actually do voice type stuff. What is the weather like in Los Angeles, California?
is the weather for Los Angeles, California. It's clear today with a temperature of 64 degrees.
So there you have it. Pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely got a lot to offer. I even installed some other apps just to try them out. Like you can actually put some little goofy games on there. Not thinking I'll really spend any time on this. If I'm going to play a game, I think it's going to be on my phone. But you know, it's you know, something to look at. You know, it's just kind of funny. But so there, I guess I didn't do too well on that. But anyway, there you have it. It definitely, you know, has some things to offer. You got voice memo that I went ahead and installed from the Samsung app store and everything, and also pretty handy little flashlight apps like this one. I already tried it out. You're not going to see the brightness of it right now because we got lights here shining on everything. But in a dark room, this is pretty handy, I'm telling you. Definitely pretty handy. So, you know, definitely a lot of useful things. I'd like to see the App Store for these watches, you know, improve with more apps. You know, definitely needs to improve with the amount, that's for sure. So yeah, there's definitely a lot. Here's a pretty cool one. This is called Milk. So this is actually something you download onto your phone as well. Now this will actually work tethered with the phone, remotely with the phone, or independently. So it will actually stream all of this from your 3G connection, your Wi-Fi connection, or paired with your phone. So this is a pretty cool app. You can see I got some Gary Clark Jr. that I was listening to on here. Pretty awesome artist that I like. But anyway, you got all this stuff here that you can choose from, you know, different types of radio stations. So it's a little bit like Pandora in the sense that you can create your own, and it's also got some other presets that you can choose from. And I actually thought it was pretty cool. Definitely very useful. But you know, I might actually do a comparison between this watch and the Moto 360 because there's definitely a lot of apps for the Android Wear watches. You know, I was really impressed with the fact that, you know, there was so much that you could do with your notifications and what you could do as far as replying to things on the Android Wear. With the Moto 360, I could actually receive a Facebook Messenger message and then literally tap reply, speak my reply into it, and it would send it for me. Now with this, you can't do it because there is no Messenger, Facebook Messenger app or function for this watch. You will get your Facebook Messenger notification, but you cannot reply to it from the watch. Now there was a little trick that I figured out. It requires a couple extra steps, but you can actually sign in to your Facebook through the Opera Mini and do what I did and just save your Facebook as a favorite there. So, you know, that is a pretty cool thing. You know, you can just go to your Facebook right there and tap on the messages, and you can just start composing your message and do it that way. So you could actually get your Facebook message notification and read that quick message, and then if you really need to reply to it and you don't have your phone and you just absolutely must reply, you could always go to your Opera, tap on your little speed dial to your Facebook messages page, and go ahead and tap in the compose section, and on your keyboard you will actually have the little icon for the mic. You can tap the mic and speak your reply, and it will actually type it out for you. So it does require an extra couple steps compared to Android Wear to be able to reply to a Facebook message. But maybe in the future, with all the features and functions this watch has, and with Samsung actually expanding this out a little bit, maybe in the future they will have more to offer, because the app store here for the Samsung Gear apps, definitely is starting to look a little bit better already. With Milk for Gear, Opera Mini, browser for Gear S. Those are major improvements to the store already. Got Samsung Wallet for Gear. Haven't tried that one out yet. It's starting to broaden just a little bit. So, but definitely impressed with seeing a watch that has 3G as well as Wi-Fi and all these different capabilities. A couple things that would have liked to have seen, would be the ability to very quickly reply to things like Facebook messages. And also, one of the things that the Gear 2 had that this does not is a camera and an IR blaster. So you can't change your volume on your television or your channels from your watch like you could with the Gear 2, and you can't take a picture with the Gear 2 straight from the watch. There's no camera. But to be honest, I did not actually use those two functions that much on the watch, because if I'm chilling watching TV, usually I have my trusty Note 4 by my side, so it has all those things as well. So that's pretty much it, and definitely looking forward to using this watch some more. Maybe if I get time, I'll do that comparison with the Moto 360 and the Samsung Gear S, and do some comparisons about what they can do and what they can't. And so that's it. Thanks for watching Tech Straight, and remember, as always, keep your tech straight. See ya.